this week's episode of The Adventures of the Windswift. We have a full complement and, well, everyone's raring to go. So without any delay, Dice of Destiny tells us that it is number 2, which is 1-2. Jorik, it's you. What's happening?
It didn't even hit that. Okay, that's a good start. All right. So what happened last week? Last week, we found out everything sucks. And everything we believe is wrong. Up is down, white is black, and everything sucks. In short, we found out that the Order is created by and run by dragons. It's great, isn't it? So we got down under the Lord Archon's chambers and found a living, breathing, horrible dragon who tried to first interrogate us, and then he got angry when we tickled him, sort of cutting off his wing with the magical stones that Adressai is carrying around.
I never want to meet you in real life.
And then we ran away, actually. I somehow got away from that dragon and tried to chase after the Lord Archon, who we thought went through a door. Didn't find him, got up to the surface, saw a wind ship. We're not sure why they went there. Don't remember if we found out why they came there, but they exploded. The entire ship just went up in smoke. And only Viss, the snake person, survived. And I think that's about it. Yeah, well, wait, the Windswift came to pick us up too, and the Windswift was in real bad shape. And if I don't misremember, Naxun was either gravely injured or already dead.
He was already
dead.
Yeah, so
someone else.
That's the grim situation we find ourselves in right now.
It's a pretty bleak situation, isn't it? It's absolutely wonderful. All right, so with that in mind, the four of you are about to disembark. Well, you have just climbed aboard the Windswift and been told that Naxun has died.
Ty was in tears for some reason.
Ty was in tears, that's right. She had just learned that Captain Blackston had succumbed to the wiles of the Lord Archon.
Yeah.
And yes, that's where the four of you find yourselves. Everyone looks rather badly beaten up and damaged on board the vessel. She herself, you can hear the scooping sounds of water buckets below deck as they are frantically bailing out water from the hull as the ship is very slowly listing to starboard under the stress of being in the ocean on such short notice. That is where the four of you find yourselves. What are you doing?
I'm going to head downstairs and see what I can do, helping with repairs, using mending.
Yes.
Sort of any critical breaks and stuff.
All right.
I'm going to go to the kitchen and make Lily a very stiff cup of tea.
All right. That's all right. Yes, the Oracle was catatonic.
Yeah. I'm going to see to Lieutenant Ty. Just make sure that she's all right. She seems broken.
All right. Con?
Are there other wounded?
Yes, everybody.
And I attend to wounded.
All right. It looks as if they've been hit
robotically.
With shrapnel of some kind. Just vast amounts of splinters, bits of glass, as if they were nearby a very large explosion.
Well, I go amongst the crew, offering whatever treatment I can. Not really speaking much, kind of.
Yes.
On autopilot, as it were.
Right. So just going through the machinations and. Okay. Absolutely. So you starting to ever so slowly try to take stock of just what's happened. And you've maybe been going for 4 minutes, not even that, when suddenly someone shouts out, it's Mios, there's somebody on the beach.
What? Well, I'll walk up and have a look, because I assume I'm on the deck.
No, I'm wrong. There isn't anyone on the beach. I thought I saw someone. That maybe I was wrong.
Is he in the crow's nest?
Yeah.
I look anyway.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Simon, your character has been doing things which we know about, which you don't know about, and has stepped out into that space that we were talking about. In the sand.
With the thing, right?
With the thing and the other thing. It's all mysterious, absolutely. In the sand at probably about 30 feet away from the cave entrance, there is this half-buried, it looks like a ring, perhaps, quite an ornate ring, which has been dropped, you think, into the sand.
Yeah, I get a piece of black cloth out of one of the pockets.
Yes.
Kind of throw it over it and kind of pick it up.
Sure. As you do that, you see in the bay this very, very badly damaged, she looks like a sloop or maybe a brig of some kind. Not a very big ship at all, but she certainly looks as if someone has taken just a large amount of explosives and thrown it at the ship, causing all kinds of damage. You can see from just above the waterline, these three little buckets every now and again appearing, discharging water out over the side into the bay. You know that ship as the Windswift, one of several of the ships that you knew about in the harbour of Quethlin. All
right, kind of rear my head, take a look, and see if they're sinking already or just now. Now? No? Okay.
Yeah, you suspect, you can see every now and again sort of a small section of planking gets put up against some of the holes. There's some magic flare every now and again as a piece of bracing gets repaired, as Adrasai kind of grabs a support beam and mends the small section that you can. She's not going anywhere fast. That's your assessment of the ship. Con, when you look out over the beach, you don't see anything. Just beach. Mios looks very nervously at you and says, I thought I saw movement, so I'm sorry.
That's okay, Mios. Keep watching. You never know. You might have done. It's easy to slip in and out of sight out there.
He looks at the long stretch of beach that runs for miles in both directions.
I would go I assume it's not sand beach, right? Because there's an exit of like a mouth of a.
There's.
So it would be like rocky as well.
Correct.
All right. So then I would go in between rocks and just drop it.
Right.
And move further.
All right.
Just still with this, looking at this ring.
Now that you are sort of looking up and down the beach, you look at the rocky area where the cave was that you exited, having faced the dragon, and stepping out from several rocks behind it, you see. What does he see? Blackson.
He sees. I don't know how far away they are at this point.
Probably about 200 yards. So.
All right. So no details, but it's like yeah.
Yeah.
See a person, mostly clad in dark clothes, with it looks like a cape. From the outside it's black, from the inside it's like crimson. And one thing that kind of stands out is the skin also looks fairly black, but there's like some red in it. It's from this range, it wouldn't be easy to see. Yeah, and I guess that's it from the range, and seems to be occupied with something in the hand.
What does stand out even more is that there is no ways that the figure could have got there having walked along the beach dressed in black during the day without someone else having seen them. So they must have come through that cave entrance that you guys came through.
Oh.
And since we had the whole ship's exploding thing, this person could be an ally. or not. But
Or it could be an enemy.
yes.
Or
But-
both.
Or both.
We left a very angry
Incredibly.
dragon behind us.
Very angry.
Well, can dragons take humanoid shape?
No, we don't know.
I mean, would they?
Reportedly,
They
yeah.
hide mighty attitude, right?
Well, it's presumably and reportedly not outside of their power to take on whatever form they choose.
Either way,
Yes, I'm a dragon now. That's great.
if it's a dragon, they would have spotted us and probably killed us already. So let's assume, for the sake of argument, it's not a dragon. So it's probably an order member coming from that cave. And everyone in the order should have been updated by their oracle. So,
Making a lot of assumptions here.
yes, obviously. Feel free to cut in at any time.
There is some sort of, it's like a banging sound as bits of wood drop onto the deck, and then a squeaking sound. And you can see Badger, the gunner, is sitting in the control seat of the ballista and is slowly cranking it around so that he can get target on the figure on the beach.
Good initiative, but hold your fire. We do not know if it's hostile or not.
Yeah.
And they're not making an effort to hide.
I sort of called down to Adressai, I presume is still helping with repairs.
Yes.
Down in the hold somewhere.
How are we looking, Adressai? Would it be advisable
Nice
not
visual expression.
Quite well considering, but not great.
Are we able to move?
Oh yeah, just not super fast or without taking in a lot of water, but we are anyway, so I mean, why not?
Want to have a look, Con? I know it's risky, but we need allies. We need to find everyone who has survived this thing and gather them together.
Okay. I suppose we could give them more time to get the ship seaworthy.
We could take the skiff.
Never ends. Okay. Where's Lieutenant Ty?
She has taken a seat in her quarters. She's asked for 10 minutes.
Tops.
Okay.
Exactly.
Let's give her 30.
On the second.
Fair enough. I'm sure the ship will run itself for now. Let's go.
All right.
Oh,
Let's take a skip out. Black.
for a minute, I thought we could give it to Naxon.
Go ahead, take some time.
Well, I get on the blower and tell Siket and Adressai that we've seen something on the beach. We're going to go investigate.
Famous last words.
We're not back in an hour. Come the firepower.
Come find our corpses.
Yeah.
Hour, that's quite a long time.
Well, it's it takes some time to row to the beach and stuff.
Right. So Siket, you've fixed yourself this sort of strong brew. Hurricane has left you to it because he's been seconded to help bail water out of the hull.
What I'm doing in the kitchen when it comes to making tea.
Right. What are you doing?
Well, having given Lily tea and possibly force-fed it to her because she's catatonic.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of sugar in the tea because that always helps in these situations. But then it's like, well, I'm pretty useless here, so I'm just going to tuck her up in bed. And eventually I'll get Con to come and have a look at her and make sure she's medically okay. And then I'm going to go and find Adressai because apparently Jorik and Con are doing something stupid again.
All right. You find Adressai. The report that Jochen Waffenstoke gives you is that if we could make her back to Quethlin, that would be good. the ship, she certainly does a good job of holding herself together, but she needs time. If we could stay in this harbour for about 4 days, that would be bonny.
Yeah. We don't exactly know the state of Quethlin right now, hostility-wise.
The Lord Archon's ship exploded right next to us. That's what did most of the damage. The tower that you lot were in exploded. That did more.
Yeah, that might have been me.
When we got message that at least you were still alive, we were quite relieved to be sure. Then you asked us to come and fetch you. That was something quite different. And then Lily had her episode where she just started screaming. That wasn't pleasant at all.
Yeah. Look, what we found down there was a little overwhelming, and I'm sorry to have dragged you out of port, but there was a dragon down there. A big one. Very, not very polite or nice.
What do you mean there was a dragon down there? There
was a dragon.
Spell.
No, apparently not. Apparently, the Order was founded by the dragons to keep under wraps the fact that they were not really banished. They were just kind of biding their time until we all, as nations, kill each other and weaken our own military positions enough that they can take over once more, because we were getting too feisty.
Make an insight check.
Uh-huh.
Steam starts blowing out his ears.
Oh god, that's a nice, lovely... Oh god, what's inside? 10. So not great.
He nods, he listens to what you're saying. If the dragons didn't all get banished, does that mean they're more powerful than the gods?
We're not entirely sure how the gods fit into this right now, actually.
I thought they were part of the spell that kicked all the dragons out.
Maybe there's some kind of terrifying religious thing going on here. We're not quite sure. I'm not the religious expert when it comes to such matters. And we've kind of lost ours. Look, we're going to address the crew and tell them what happened. Just, we need to get Con and Jorg back and things like that first. So I'm afraid that, non-secular matters are going to have to wait.
Right. Well, we'll carry on repairing the ship then.
Yeah. Sorry, this is... I know this is a lot to take in. But at least we hurt the dragon pretty badly. Like, we cut its wing off, I think. And I don't think it expected that. So that's good news. Right? I mean, it's something. And we still have the ship. It's still here. And the fact that we dismantled the engine is probably what stopped it from blowing up entirely. Because that's probably why the other ships blew up. So, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff here. There's a lot of good news that we should be focusing on right now, like the fact that most of us are alive and the ship's not in a billion pieces. And also,
you on the shoulder and says, "Hey, there is that. There is that.
There's that. You gotta look at what you have instead of what you haven't, and then you gotta work with that."
Aye.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to it, right? Got a lot of work to do.
Aye. That's...
Yeah. I pat him back.
There's patting on backs, and then Quallen goes back down below the deck.
That went rather well.
your character sees the skiff being launched from the Windswift with 2 individuals aboard. You think you recognize them, at least certainly from the descriptions that you've got. Are you doing anything specifically? That ring appears to have blood on it, as if it was on a hand that was covered in blood, and that's probably why it fell off.
Anything specific about it? Is it like an engagement ring and it's just blank? Or is
incredibly ornate, very ornate gold ring with a fairly large ruby inset into it. This ring is probably worth in the region of 500 or 600 gold pieces. Quite ostentatious for the wielder of any kind. Give me an investigate check if you're going to be scrutinizing it.
Sure. Didn't order this shit yet, so okay. 18.
The ring itself appears to have a false bottom on the underside of the crown that holds the ruby in place. It looks as if there's a little circular panel in the actual setting itself. You think that all you do is you take the ring off, and then you'd put your thumb inside that, and you just turn it, and you think that would actually release this little panel.
Instead of putting my thumb on it,
right?
I'll use the tip of the dagger, like a screwdriver.
Right. Okay. So as you do that, the little bottom piece comes out, sitting on the tip of the dagger, and inside is the ruby has obviously got a dome on its underside, although that's masked by the cut of the actual gem itself. So there's a pea-sized cavity within, and inside
a ring.
It's like I said, it's a big, gaudy kind of.
Yeah, I'm just saying that pea-sized in the dimensions of a ring.
Yes.
Like the size of a pearl or whatever, right?
Yeah. Well, as a matter of fact, on the inside is this very small black. Is it a bead? It has a slightly oily surface to it, so it's got the rainbow colors that sort of play over it in the sunlight.
All right, close it up again.
All right. The skiff gets closer and closer as
kind of pocket it away for now.
Before we reach land, I'm going to quaff a healing potion because I'm not in good shape.
All right. Drink a healing potion, not a problem.
16. All right.
Okay. The skiff eventually breaks the wave barrier and you are beached. Mios tries to pull the boat ashore, but that's basically like an ant trying to pull an elephant. So he sort of tugs on it for a little bit and then just holds the rope.
Yeah, it's okay. I jump out and hold the boat up. It's best.
We help him. I'm probably weaker than him, though, but I help anyway.
Come on, Derek, put your back in it.
I'm trying. This is not my forte.
And then sort of look about to see if this mysterious individual is still there.
Yeah.
Looking at something.
It would be looking at you at this point, right?
Mm.
Good morning. Is it morning?
Yeah.
So at this point, you would see a little bit more detail, right?
Correct.
So, the clothing stays similar. No visible armor. Maybe like some underneath, like the is it burlap, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is tinted kind of dark grayish. The obvious thing that would stand out is that he is a tiefling.
Mm.
With like the skin looks like gray to blackish, but the top half of the face is red, as well as are the horns that kind of line the black, is it alabaster? Yeah, I guess, colored hair, which hangs long over the back. Also, you don't see any visible weapons on this person. Just the flicking of a tail once in a while.
Well, I adjust my tattered robes and straight up the beach.
Like do the Picard move.
Yeah.
What now?
What are you doing here? Pardon me for asking.
Just cock my head and say, you are captains of the Windswift.
You recognize the ship?
Well, what's left of it, yes?
Hmm. Did you come out of the cave?
Well, I go where the waves tell me to go, I guess. So, yeah, I went through there.
Right. We left quite a scene behind us. We were curious.
Sure did.
Well, lucky you got through unscathed, I suppose. So, my name is Connor Danner, formerly a captain of the Order.
Kind of stepping forward, offering a hand, and saying, Atramento Machat.
Oh, God.
Gesundheit.
Well, Atramite is sufficient.
Atramai.
No, Atramentum.
Atramentum. Atramentum. What brings you to this beach, Atramentum?
Thinking for a second. Well, I guess you're seen. Wasn't hard to follow the breadcrumbs.
Ah, well, why would you?
Well, you have... I kind of look towards the city.
Which is on
Rolled up something nice. Rolled up something nice and wanted to see who it was who did. And, well, here I am. Or here you are, I guess.
I tried to catch a glimpse of Atramentus' hand. Are they an order? Or is he an order person?
Doesn't look like it.
You could say things didn't go quite as anticipated. Not that we really, I think, knew what to anticipate, but it definitely wasn't that.
Blowing up half the city. Well, didn't think you would want to, but
Well, we
happened.
didn't actually...
I don't think we had too much of a hand in that.
Shrug. They said, I'd hoped you did the job for me, but... Well.
Job?
Yeah, don't we all have jobs? Like, your job is to keep the dragons from coming back, and my job is to, well, seek out certain personnel.
I see. I think.
And since you know who we are, it's your job to seek out us?
Are you an assassin?
What? That's such a crude thing.
Is this about to get violent? I need to know now. It's been a long day.
Sorry, I didn't catch what you said first. Is this about?
Is this about to get violent? I need to know. It's been a long day.
Kind of holding your staff. It's like...
It's like...
I don't want to.
And I say, no, I don't intend it to be violent.
Oh, good.
That's
excellent.
A relief. That's the first time in
Fantastic.
a long time.
Well,
but I'm looking for. I don't know if have you seen the old person? Thinks of himself very highly.
The Archon
Came through here recently.
Oh, there's also
Yeah, we were chasing after him.
He vanished into thin air. It was a good trick, but then they
Vanished.
Yeah, more or less.
That's a bother. All right. Thought this might be an opportune moment to, and I kind of look at you, Con, headhunt.
I thought you said you weren't an assassin.
I'm not. Entirely.
Well, if you're after killing the Lord Archon, you have a friend.
Certainly, I would have to say something along the lines of, you might have to get in line.
Yeah.
At this point?
I think there's a lot of people who would want him dead right now.
But as I say, we followed him out here, and there was no trace of him. And given the lead he had was not all that significant, I can only assume he had some sort of magical assistance.
I say, well, he certainly came out of the cave, and I can just like grab into my satchel and kind of toss over a ring to Con.
Very ornate gold ring with a large ruby inset into it.
Do I recognize it?
Now that you see it, you do remember the Archon having quite heavy sort of decoration on him by the time you got to the office.
Well, yeah, it certainly could be his.
It's covered in blood, human blood, no doubt about that. Definitely not tiefling.
I wouldn't assume it belonged to the crew of the ship which blew up about an hour or two ago. But
Doesn't look like it's got any fire damage on it.
he was definitely wounded.
One of our captains sliced him up pretty badly.
Before you continue, the ship starts to rock, Saket and Adresai. And there is a shout from Badger on the deck. We need help!
Now what?
All right, let's get up there.
You run up onto deck, and on the seaward side of the ship, there is one of those water spouts forming, and that merfolk individual that you have met before is very slowly rising out of the water. And
Oh, hello.
you're not sure, but he seems to be... Well, give me an insight check, as a matter of fact. Give me a nature check or an insight check, either or. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yours is neither nor.
Ooh, 20. Not natural, but 20.
Saket.
Well, mine's a 10, so let's just...
Yeah, you notice nothing, but Astrosai, perhaps it's because your origins are cat-like and his origins are goldfish-like. You don't know, but you would swear that this is a smiling fish. He seems happy.
All right.
And he bows low before the two of you and says, "Permission to come aboard."
Well, why not? You know,
Oh, you should have told me.
things are a little up in the air right now, so why not?
The water spout lowers him down onto the deck.
Up in the air.
We were quite impressed by your deceptions.
Deception? Oh my God, I really shouldn't have been sick.
I'm sorry?
I believed you had not taken sides. Helping those sailors certainly made us suspicious of your allegiances. But the destruction you have wrought in the city of Quethlin, this
Oh, no.
know that
That
the merfolk
wasn't-
could not have struck without
So that was not...
life.
That was technically because of it, but it wasn't we that did it. That was actually a retaliation against us in the Order from...
No, that was me being proven right, Adresai. I'm sorry. We should have done edicts.
No, you're right. You're
Time
right.
ago.
You're right. I fully admit that.
I do not fully understand your words. You caused the city of Quethlin to explode. Yes.
That was just a side effect.
Look, should we just tell this individual? Should we just tell them?
The Merkin wishes to meet with you. If you
tell
have
him.
sided with the Mer people.
Not necessarily. We'd need the other captains, but we'd love to meet your king. That would be really nice, actually. Could be useful for a number of reasons right now.
Yeah, that's very true. I think this full disclosure to the king is a really good idea.
Look, the
So
thing
you
is,
have sided with the merfolk.
No.
not really. Look,
We'd
it's
them
like
to
this.
side with us, though.
The order turns out to be really bad, and turns out there were dragons all along, and now we're kind of trying to not have there be dragons anymore, but the dragons were really pissed off that we found out, so they exploded all the ships. So the order is kind of not very much anymore. But, I mean, we'd love to meet with your king once all the captains get back.
Yeah, we need the other guys off the beach first.
Yeah, they're on the beach right now.
Did you say the dragons have returned?
They've actually never left. They actually never left. But yes.
In fact, they've been in a lot of people's ships in a weird kind of way, which is why they went bang.
Yeah.
Which is very difficult to explain, but if we can meet your king...
I'm sure we could explain everything given some time.
Agreement. Yeah.
The water tendril arrives back to pick him up without him even gesticulating. And he looks at the two of you and says, I hope this is not another deception.
At this stage, it's going to be pretty hard to deceive anybody that's still around what's going on, because we kind of need everybody's help that we can possibly get.
Look, I swear you by anything water-related you would like that we are not pulling anything of yours right now. But we really would like to speak to the king at some point soon.
Soon. Yeah, very soon.
The tendril retracts and he gives you a look of possibly contemplation. You're not entirely sure, and then he sinks back into the waters.
Goodbye, nice to talk to you.
Back to you three on the beach.
I say, so, if you're searching for the Lord Archon, and I am searching for the Lord Archon, why don't we search together?
Well, there's nothing to be gained by standing around on the beach. Our ship's in a bit of a state, but you are welcome aboard. We still have food and drink.
Are you sure you don't want to take a look at the beach and see where he went?
I believe we've looked, but you're more than welcome to try again.
I
What do
wouldn't
you
mind.
suggest?
It would be a good thing to make a thorough investigation. I didn't have time to do that.
Or are you in a hurry?
Oh, no, the ship is...
She will be sinking if you're on board or if you're not on board.
She's under repairs right now, so no.
Well then, kind of.
Could not detect his trail earlier, so I'm skeptical, but please, by all means.
And I kind of just stretch out my hand, expectantly.
I hand him the ring.
All right.
Well then, going back to the mouth or where I found the ring more specifically and taking a look around.
All right.
Yeah, Yurik's going to take some time and look around as well.
All right. So you're
Because we didn't have time to do that earlier.
And meanwhile, while we're on the way, I'll just like, so what was he wearing when you last saw him? Yada yada yada, right?
Sure. Kind of getting the full details there.
Mhm.
Okay, dokes. You gain advantage on your survival check at Trementum.
All right, 20.
20. Okay. So it does look, you came out of the cave. Firstly, you can see the captains came out of the cave in quite a hurry. There's still evidence of that. Then you came out of the cave. Then, if you look very carefully, someone came out of the cave in between the time that you came out and the captains came out. But the footprints would indicate that the individual was limping quite heavily on their left side. Probably, it's difficult to tell. It's definitely less than an hour since they came out. there's very little evidence other than that, except that they headed straight for the tree line. Now, just looking at where the tracks of the captains went and the lay of the beach, unless they were all blindfolded, they should have seen this individual making his way from the cave to the tree line.
All right. So what I will do is, can you give me any distinct markers? Like he was wearing this and nobody else was wearing this?
Well, the robes of the Lord Archon are distinctive.
They were light blue, if you remember.
Are these robes still around in a 1,000 feet radius around me?
You kind of extend your mind out in all different directions. You don't detect them.
All right. So I assume you said, did you say, I didn't quite understand it. Did you say I lost the tracks at
the tracks lead into the jungle. They lead into the forest.
Okay. Well, I would then follow them as long as I can.
Sure.
And you would see like his eyes being this kind of these red jewels in the red kind of upper part of the face before now like gleaming at this point.
The trail, once he gets to the forest, the trail changes. I don't want to say pace, but he certainly seems to be weakening, and the blood is getting more and more and more. The reason why, well, Jorik, even you, well, not even you, that would imply that you couldn't before. You searched that area thoroughly when you left the cave. There was no sign of blood. There was no sign of the footprints whatsoever. So the only possible conclusion is that somehow you passed him in the tunnel and he came out when you were busy watching ships explode and getting onto the skiff and that sort of thing. So he's probably got maybe 20 minutes lead in terms of having left the cave. Given the fact that when he could have left the cave when you were on the skiff, going back to the ship, when you were on the ship, or possibly you're not sure when Atramentum came out of the cave, but it's probably a 20-minute window in which he could have left. How someone from the Crow's Nest didn't see, well, there was commotion when you guys arrived on the ship. Everyone kind of gathered around to make sure that you were alive and that sort of thing. You've gone maybe 300 foot into the actual forest itself. There's a low depression, which you can see this figure has obviously slid down. There's signs all over the place of this individual sliding down the hill, or the bank, I should say. And at the very bottom of the bank, there is some arcane rune symbols that have been scratched rather hastily into the mud. You don't even have to make an Arcana check. Someone was casting a teleportation spell of some kind, in using a ritual to do so.
Verdammter Mist! Looks like he's gone.
Yeah, I'm not an arcane expert, but that looks, yeah.
I whip out my little doctor's bag, pull out some parchment, copy the circle symbols down.
All right. It's tricky, but it takes you a few minutes. Eventually, you've got it down. A full mage might be able to tell you exactly what spell it was, but there's a certain residue. The way that the mud itself has been dried implies that there was a magical discharge of some kind. Well, you're not too sure.
Well, I didn't expect it to be easy.
So, how are captains of the Order hunting their headmaster?
Well, that's a long story.
Well, looks like we are working together for a little bit longer, eh?
Yes, let's head back to the ship. We're not getting anywhere here.
All right.
I assume.
Okay.
It would be most welcome to be able to board your ship, as seen as you have the same goal in mind, and you're also the only ship on the ocean right now.
Why not? Let's go.
All right.
And as we're walking, Jorik's gonna retell most of the story, basically from Naxa and onwards, I think.
Are you including the part about giant dragon and the cave system?
Yes.
I think we already covered that.
Yeah. And if we haven't, Jorik will cover it now.
That bears some, well, sense of irony, won't you say?
I'm not sure I would laugh at it, but I see your point.
Well, for an outside person.
Needless to say, the orders really are irrelevant now from our perspective. We had some hope initially of reforming the orders. Fancy that. That I think is fanciful at this stage. I think it's safe to say the orders are over.
Yes, at least as an organization, I still fully intend to do everything I can to get rid of these lizards.
All right, but please tell me before you want to fight one of these dragons one-on-one so I can get off the vessel for a bit.
Not to brag or anything, but I've stood before one and I'm still alive, so...
Well, once I get through there, didn't see much happening, so can't say the same for myself. But I don't intend to try it out. I'm not an idiot.
None of us are planning on charging into battle against a dragon again anytime soon.
We didn't really plan to in the first place, to be fair.
None of this was planned.
Well, that gives me some relief at least, because I don't plan either. So another thing we have in common, yes?
Yay. Called out by the new PC. Damn.
The three of you eventually make your way back to Mios, and the skiff slowly rows back to the Windswift. You can hear the banging and sort of the hammer work that's going on to try and repair her. And by the time you board, Badger, who has unofficially kind of taken over the role of informing everyone of what's going on in the absence of Mios, comes running up to you and says, I think everything is fine. The ship is being repaired, and there was a visit from the merfolk, but the other captains spoke about that. The ballista I have got working in perfection now.
Very good. Well done. This is...
I think we're still on the top deck, sort of discussing what just happened.
Right.
You know, this could be really, really useful for, various reasons, like, Magnum Golf related reasons.
I'm still not sure what's going on in the Magnum Golf, though.
No, exactly. But, it's golf, and they're
golf, yes.
Golf-related people.
Yes. Well, you want to send them there to see what the Sagetti and the Great...
Well, maybe they already know. Maybe they could get us there a lot faster. I mean, if they have water control, they could, whoosh, a lot faster.
I'm not sure that's really what we've got to... I think we've got to go deal with Section 13 first.
Oh, I mean, obviously. But, I mean, if we're talking about a speedy thing here, then, maybe we could do both and a lot faster than we first thought we could.
So, apparently there was a merfolk visit.
Oh, hello, new person. Is this
is Atramentrum.
What is he?
And kind of a deep bow, kind of flaring out the cape.
Return the fancy bow. The equally fancy one.
After the Lord Archon, apparently, for reasons of his own.
Oh, after stab after?
No, no such crude manners.
No, of course not. But good. Enemy over enemy and all that. Well, what jolly good. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, and I heard you're searching for him too. So might as well throw in together for now, right?
Why not? The more the merrier. which is incidentally kind of what we said to the visiting mer person, who is the same one we met before, who congratulated us on exploding an elven city, which I assured him that we were not directly responsible for, and that the order was dragons, and that he suggested we speak to their king, which I thought was an amazing idea.
Right.
Also, we should probably tell their king about the whole the dragons pitting the nations against each other to weaken the overall military might of the mortal empires, considering their whole war thing.
And where do you come from?
Who, me?
Yeah, because, like, background, please.
A little bit suspicious there, Stickett.
First of all, we have to make...
Take the girl out of the order, but you can't take the order out of the girl.
It has horns and a tail. I need more...
Well, I thought that gave it away already where I'm from.
Background, please. Motivation for getting the Archdeacon for a start. Who sent you? Why?
I'm not after the Archdeacon. I'm not after the Lord Archon. Is there a misunderstanding?
No. We're just a little pratful.
She mixes up the titles.
Yeah, I'm good at that. It's all a bit confusing. Anyway, the Lord Archdeacon. Why are you looking for him? Whatever his freaking name is.
Honestly, I don't know.
You don't know why you're looking for him.
Well, I know why I'm looking for him, but I don't know why I'm after him.
No, it's a sort of no questions asked kind of.
Well.
And who sent you on this mission?
My cabal, of course.
Oh, cabal.
Ooh, fancy. I've never interacted with a cabal before.
So why did
it's
Adresai.
It's mostly degenerates and murderers, so I'm an upgrade, I suppose.
You're an upgrade. Of what?
The cabal. Is she here?
Who?
We've had a long day. A really long day. She's usually a little more together, but honestly, I think you'd have to excuse us for a lot of things right now.
Yeah.
I think I need more.
I mean, I am happy that I have a vessel that I can, well...
What? Take over?
Yeah, of course. I am here speaking with you because I secretly plan to murder you all.
That wouldn't surprise me at this stage after the last week we've had.
Yeah, well, but I can assure you I cannot sail this vessel on my own. So at least I'll need some survivors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fantastic. Right.
Right, so look useful, everyone.
Especially in this condition you're...
Yeah, okay, we know the ship needs patching up.
I'm going to go continue helping out with that. Let me know if the king shows up.
Well, I guess we should all pitch in. How are you with the hammer and nail, Atramentum?
Kind of look at my fingers like...
Are we a bit soft-bored?
Right, the faster we get these repairs done, the faster we can do something.
I reckon I could aim this pretty well, but I don't think that's happening right now, so... Sure, why not?
We're hoping not to get shot at any time.
The young Cathon known as Baja, who is the gunner, when you say you could fire the ballista, he kind of leans in front of it and says, "This is highly powerful weapon which requires training. Someone like you could not fire it."
No, I'm okay. I know how we're all feeling right now, and that's my job to tell him when to fire that thing too. So
George just rubs his temples and says, "I'll be in my quarters if anyone needs me."
All right. So, are you all just going to your quarters, leaving Atramentum in charge?
No.
As I said,
George is going to
It's
the
easy
quarters.
as I thought!
as I said, like, very seriously ask Atramentum how he is with a hammer and nail, since we're a small crew. I set to work helping Adresai and the rest of the crew fix the leaking ship.
I'm
This also allows Con headspace to, like, hit things with a hammer and brain out.
Break it even further. Stupid order! Stupid dragons!
You're not
I-
supposed to drive the nail all the way through the wood, just halfway through and into the other one. If you go all the way, you're making a hole, really. You're not nailing anything together. So.
I'm sorry.
Do we have like a library on board the boat?
No.
I have
Yeah,
sort of a
Yeah, we do.
library.
Advertised quarters.
Yeah,
Ah,
pretty
I
much.
suppose.
Close finger.
In that case, I need to go read.
Read.
Are you sure you want to touch their books?
Well, I'm going to ask her first. I'm not completely stupid.
And don't
And then
bring
I need
food.
to go to the map. Yeah, I'll try not to eat too much food because I need to go to the map room and I don't
Too
want to leave
much.
food stains everywhere. Alright,
Thank you.
fault.
If you're in my library, you are banned as my friend. It's like we're not talking anymore.
All right, so Kate, you're asking Adressa if you can have the book.
Not the book. I need to borrow some books from her little
All right,
personal
well-
library about
well-
the order, and we need to go to section 13. But what is the
Sure.
best way to go there? And then, I need to look in the maps and make a plan.
Sure. I have some gnomish. I have a book on the gnomish
We have-
states, I think.
Just, you have 2 gnomes in the crew. They already
I'd
said
like to
they're gonna
question
take
one
us.
of them.
I mean,
Well, no, just go on. Could you check if 9 is all right? I think he should be in there still. If you
9.
need anything.
Oh, your little lizardy friend.
Who is all of our Licity friend?
I
And
can't talk to him though. I haven't got that spell.
No, but try to see if he's happy or bleeding
I'm
out.
not entirely sure you should consider him a friend.
Why not?
Because he's got a history and motivations we're only just beginning to scratch the surface of.
I mean, sure, when you put it that way, but I mean, considering
Circumstances
friendly.
might change, and his perspective might bring out surprising results. Be
Is that
cautious.
Proven right about the whole Edict 7 thing. I feel like I've been proven right on quite a few fronts now, and rather than say, I told you so,
Well, to be honest, Siket, the only problem there is Edict 7 seems to be designed to do the one thing we didn't want to do.
yeah, well, none of us knew that, did we?
We didn't.
Well-
But with hindsight, we can see that Edict 7 is... if
Pretty damaging,
killed
yes.
all the deacons and
I'm gonna miss
destroyed our
Borg.
ability to coordinate.
It was nice. Anyway, please feel free to borrow my books. Just check up on 9 to see that he's still alive. If he wants, you can, come outside and help.
I think
He's
we
a
might need
stone
to
layer.
get
Maybe he knows how to
to-
handle tools.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's very good with. Well, he might be. Didn't you say he built like all those things?
Yeah, cigarettes. He built cigarettes. So, I mean, he was working with stone, but, I mean, tool is a tool, right?
Yeah, so maybe I could push him down the stairs. Well, not push him down the stairs, but
But
kind of
just
provide
gent-
a paw.
Be more
and-
comfortable.
Is it a paw or a limb or a? And then take him to you, perhaps, because you can tell him what to do. And then
Sure, I'll be down in the hold with the Jock and Stokes anyway.
I think we need to have a think about what we're doing next. I mean, do we go see the druids and get more allies as well as the merfolk, and then go back?
Sleep. I mean, probably the merfolk is going to show up first, and then we need to sleep. And then we should have a big meeting and tell all the crew what actually happened.
You guys need to sleep. I just need to go into a trance for 6 or 7 hours, maybe.
Oh, I'm so jealous of that. You've no idea.
Okay, well, let's.
Although I
start
have learned a
thinking.
spell to get a lot of sleep into 10 minutes. It's
Really?
really, really useful. But I can't cast it right now because I'm too tired. Irony. Anyway, I go downstairs.
Into his quarters. Saket goes off to the unofficial library. Adressai is down in the hold, busy repairing damage. Con, where are you going?
I'm repairing damage.
And keep an eye on the new guy.
Ah,
Yeah. New guy. Help repair damage.
so you're taking Atramentum with you down into the
If the ship is as you say, taking on water and people are bailing it out with buckets, then first order of business is stop the leaks.
Right. No, absolutely. So,
Welcome to the Windswift. Now get to work.
welcome to the Windswift. Time to get wet. All right. So you start desperately trying to salvage the ship. It takes you another 4 hours of fairly hard labor, moving timber, casting mending spells, and the like, until eventually the Jockenstokes, who look as if they've been they have been working since the explosion's gone off. Eventually, they sit back and they go, "All right, I think it's holding. The water seepage is not too bad. We're going to have to get in, of course, and tar the whole interior of the vessel, but
Of course.
we can't do that while we're out in the open sea. Well, not very effectively anyway. There's curing and all sorts of things that go on. But
Well, we probably have a meeting with the Merking quite soon, so maybe they can help us with some kind of dry dock thing. I'm not quite sure, but I mean, we need a harbour. I understand.
just to be clear, this was a flying ship. Now it's an ocean-going ship. It's not a bloody submarine.
No, I'm aware. We're not going to the Merking. We're not. It's just, possibly water magicians can help us with our water issue without us having to go into Quethland, which is possibly extremely hostile territory.
I don't think there's going to be much of Quethland left.
No, but what's left of it might be extremely hostile.
All right, well, we're probably... All right, Quillen, you and I, we better go and see if we can figure out a way of lowering the steering column into a watertight space. He starts grumbling as he heads off.
Thank you. You're doing great. Everyone loves you.
Following behind. Lieutenant Ty approaches. Her hair is as neat as she can make it, but it's not the usual tight bun that would crack walnuts. There are a few strands that have gotten away from her. And she looks to, basically to the two of you. She gives Atramentum a once-over, very briefly.
Deep bow.
Looking back at the captain's uncertain as to this bowing tiefling.
Lieutenant Ty, good to see you. This is Atramentum. Atramentum, this is Lieutenant Ty, without whom we would not be able to run this ship. She is our first officer, and her word is law, in so much as it is our word.
I am pleased to meet you, Lieutenant Ty.
I'm sure the pleasure is all yours. Captain, am I to assign quarters to Mr. Atramentum?
Yeah, I believe we should not be too sentimental about this. We have quarters.
Oh, too soon, man.
Oh, the waterworks just start, and she can't hold back the tears as she then turns away from you to look down the corridor, and then runs down the corridor, heading back towards her space.
Should I follow her? This is mixed signals here.
No, we're all learning about Lieutenant Ty by the day as it happens. So no.
All right. Well,
I don't think you need to follow her.
no, it's fine.
Well, at some point, someone will assign you quarters.
Very well.
For now, don't wander near anything important.
Rory comes strolling down the corridor, looking spry and refreshed, like, all right, what's
You
happening?
need to crash. There is spare bunks up in the crew section. It's more informal, but it's something.
Well, it's fine by me. As long as I get mats to hang in, it's all good.
Certainly not a lot nicer than you have experienced before anyway, because, there's actual natural sunlight that you can see from time to time.
Right now, right. It's the perfect site. Look,
Yeah.
right outside of the...
We even have a lot of
Newly
these
installed
windows.
Windows.
Exactly.
Well, if we've been like hammering and sawing and
It's
fixing shit
early
for
evening
a while,
now. Yep.
I guess I'd probably kind of tell the crew to take a break, have a meal, get some sleep.
Yeah, we've been up for 2 days now.
Set a watch and go to bed early.
Right.
Speak for yourself. I just got a long rest.
You are
Leave the elves to run the ship
Well,
over there.
Doric, if you're awake, I think I should take a rest. I've been staring at this map now for a very long time.
Yeah. Go have a meditation session or whatever you do. Fine.
Yeah.
I can run the ship.
I do the same thing as you. I mean, I go into a trance and then I come out of it.
Yes, but you know, everyone does it differently. I've seen some sit in strange positions doing things. It's weird.
well, while the two elves compare techniques for how they do things alone and private, the ship settles into a rather difficult night. You patrol the rounds, I suppose. At Trementum, the attitude on the ship towards you is not one of hostility. The crew are simply
It's
too
a surprise.
Yeah, there is the usual. Oh, it's a tiefling. Where's my coin pouch? Okay, wait, I'm on a ship. I don't have my. Did I lock my quarters? No, I have a hammock which has a chest underneath it. Okay, so yeah, there's the usual sort of suspicion towards you because of being a tiefling, but generally speaking, the cook is a drow and he seems to be trying to get everyone's spirits up. The portions that are served are certainly a lot greater than one would expect on a ship of this size, but the conversation is incredibly subdued anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I assume everybody is quite exhausted at this point, so
Correct.
stands to reason.
Yes. Jorik, you are basically the only one left around on the.
I actually don't need to sleep.
Correct,
so-
because you haven't needed to yet. You had a great morning, a nice breakfast. It was just going to be a casual day of assassination, and then things didn't turn out that well. But yeah, so are you going to do anything with?
I would like to stay not in the bowels of the ship because I hate ships.
Right. So
Great
you're
character choice there.
Like you just feel woozy, and you need like the line of the horizon. And gives you, like
Jorik's going to, unless he's immediately needed, he's going to leave most of the thing running the ship to Lieutenant Ty if she's up for it. If she's
nowhere
really
to be seen.
tired. Sorry, what?
She's
She's
nowhere
nowhere
to be seen.
Okay, then I'm going to run it.
Running is the
If I get some time over, I'm going to walk down to Blackstone's quarters and see if I can find the records of what's on the ship and see if I can do some of his duties now that he's gone.
All right, quartermasterly stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll leave that conversation for you and Simon to have privately because there's some stuff there and there's some stuff there and there's some stuff there. You can find it out and you can report it to the captains or not. Yeah, your choice. So that's what you're busy going through. At Trementum, you're on above deck. There's a young boy who starts. He's obviously on shift watch. He starts at the far end of the ship. Are you just sitting, sort of watching the horizon, contemplating?
I would assume just sitting on the stairs that lead up to the steering wheel.
column. Yep. All right. He starts on the far end of the ship and he pretends to be watching the ocean, but you can see at every opportunity he kind of glances back at you. And over the course of an hour, he sort of patrols backwards and forwards, and he's constantly getting closer and closer to you as he doesn't get eaten by you. He doesn't see you suddenly turning into a giant, demon from hell. He doesn't.
No, I am already. So,
So eventually he gets close enough to you to sort of
Mios,
start.
right?
Mios, correct? Yeah, to sort of start a conversation, but Yeah, he's trying to be friendly. He's also in a very confused space right now. There's so much going on. He eventually, you learn that he was with the first ship that blew up, and he survived that one. So he's kind of lucky, he guesses, that he's been on. Well, the Windswift didn't blow up, but the ship next to it blew up, and that was kind of like the same thing. The two of you can see from the deck. You can see Quethlin on the cliff faces on the horizon. You can see it's still on fire. And there are mixed colors. There is red flame, obviously from timber and that sort of thing that's burning, as well as green flame everywhere that is spreading around.
It's mercury, right?
Really uncontrollable. Sorry?
I think it's mercury.
Or dragons.
Copper has a green flame, doesn't it?
Is it copper? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, copper. Yeah. Not mercury, copper.
So that's
right.
that's what you're seeing. The morning eventually arrives. Everyone has got their rest and their sleep. And Atramentum, you're probably the one who sees it first. There is a very large elvish warship sailing directly for the Windswift at first light.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I'm nowhere to be found.
Yeah, Jordan probably
bell
sees
that
it
goes
as
out.
well.
Mios, who has spent the whole night on duty, he had.
Yeah, I would kind of excuse myself from Mios when I say this, kind of point the way, go around the corner, and then I'm gone.
The bell immediately starts being rung with gusto, and this voice shouts into the speaking horn, "We got an approaching ship! There's a ship approaching us!"
I walk up to Mios and I kind of just calm down.
Then you
to wake up.
And then I lean over to the speaking horn and, "Captains, to the deck, please."
It's too late for the soft voice.
It's too late for the soft voices climbing out of his head. It is one of the large trimarans that the Elvish Navy uses, and she is coming in at speed, full sails set, and as she's getting
Are
closer...
we moving or are we still in the bay?
You're still in the bay.
Okay.
As she's getting closer, you can see that she is armed and ready for war. The elves on board are all carrying their bows. The ballista are all retraining themselves on you as the ship realigns herself. And as she's approaching, the signals are busy being sent. And who's signaling back?
What are they?
This is
Con, find Lieutenant Ty, get her on deck. I think she's good with semaphores.
Do we have a white flag? White flags are pretty universal.
You gotta hold up some white flags. I think this is what we should be just waving this one, right?
Yeah.
I understand semaphore language being this language.
Yeah, you can make just give me a survival check, a sailing check. We call it, but a survival check. I think it was. It's intelligence.
Yeah. So that's intelligence. Okay. Yeah. 12 plus 4 is 16.
All right. Yeah, Mio starts. He's like C. Oh, Adressai, you're watching it as well, and they are ordering you to heave to and prepare to be boarded.
No, that's fine. They can come aboard. Just no.
All right, time to brush up on this.
I'm gonna sort of return language. How about I tell them that we'll talk, but no boarding?
Well,
they don't look like they're in the mood, but
it's not a question.
It's a lot easier to talk if they come on board. Let's just, we're not moving as it is. It's fine. Just yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess I'll just fall back and say sort of acknowledged. We're not moving.
Why did it have to have so many letters in this third word?
Okay, it would have been.
You could have just said yes.
I assumed that there was an acknowledged sign for semaphore flag.
I'm just being facetious. Absolutely, yes. Signal that you understand and
affirmative.
Like we're friendly and willing to talk.
Yes, with acknowledge you lose your place, and it's like LEG. I don't know. The ship comes in ridiculously quickly. And as she pulls alongside, there is a shout from below decks. It is an anguished cry of despair and loss that just it just sounds so loud across the ship.
Which one? Ours or theirs?
Your ship, yeah, the Windswift. Then ropes get thrown from the Elvish ship down onto the Windswift as they expect you to tie the ship up to their trimaran.
I poke Missos and I'm like, dude, just go and check on Lily and Lieutenant Ty quickly and tell me which one screamed.
He goes rushing down below decks. The elves, once the ship is secured, lower this rather ornate-looking rope ladder, and this very, very well-appointed captain starts to descend down. And he is followed by 12 very heavily armed individuals, all in rather ornate scale mail. And the archers take position along the top deck because they look down onto you. And you can see their bows are all drawn and ready to fire.
I counterboard them invisibly.
Right, I know what you're about to say, but no, we didn't blow up Quetlin. That was not us. What?
You
It's
are all
true.
under arrest in the name of the Emperor.
Sakes, what
You will
for
immediately
now?
surrender your weapons and stand by.
Can we see the charges
Excuse
first,
me?
please?
We're already doing that.
There's
What?
no need for hostilities here. Explain yourself instead.
Anyway, I thought the oracles had done enough of explaining what happened there. I mean, hello? What are the charges?
They don't have the oracles. Second.
Why
They
not?
don't know what happened.
Bloody stupid of them, isn't it?
All right, maybe not the tone we want to set here.
Arrest her first, says the captain.
Look, whoa, whoa,
Oh,
whoa.
she suggested. Oh, right. Oops.
All right, look, let's talk this through. Why exactly are we being arrested here? Because we did not blow up Quetlin. Look, we can
Yes, do you
explain.
see our ship?
You entered
What?
into one of the Elvish towers. It subsequently exploded.
We went
That's
into
what I
the
thought.
Order
The
Tower.
only ones that managed to leave almost immediately as the rest of the explosions took place.
I
Yeah,
pointed
why
this.
are on-
He left too.
Suspicious.
What? We escape, and that makes us guilty.
It
Guy?
does, as a matter of fact.
How
Before
that
you
logic
entering the
is
tower.
flawed.
Guy, in the meantime, while I'm on board the catamaran, can I sabotage it so that they can no longer function?
So
Not
you're
a
kind of
primary.
looking to you give me an intelligence check or
So, like few ideas would be kind of sabotaging the sailing. So, that kind of once they kind of want to do, like everything comes down, and it takes obviously some time to go back up.
right. So how long do you want to spend? Because there's a faster option that you can think of.
Sure. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I just want to be prepared.
Sure. Give me a history check.
History. My strong suit. 13.
13. You recall there was a story that the steering mechanism of these trimarans is actually rather complicated, given that there are 3 hulls and that the elves like their ships to be particularly maneuverable. If you were to damage that, the ship wouldn't be able to change course. You think that's a lot easier and more achievable than sabotaging the rigging. It's also
fine.
because it's a bit more complex, it might take longer to repair.
All right, going over there, test driving for a second, and then just like shrugging and.
All right, give me a stealth check, because although you're invisible, you are
I
still
have advantage on it though. 23
nice.
with advantage, right? Because I'm invisible.
Everybody is focused on the loud commotion that's going on the deck down below. So you managed to inveigle your way into the ship itself. Now, unfortunately, that history lesson didn't come with where exactly the steering mechanisms are, but you suspected below deck somewhere, so that's where you are.
Below deck, the steering mechanism?
Well, there's the wheel on top, but it's the
Oh,
mechanism.
you mean the connections? Okay,
Correct,
got it.
correct. So that's where you're heading. The four of you on the deck, looking at this very imperious-looking elf, are trying to make your case. I have my orders. I am to arrest the four of you. You will come with me.
I understand. Look, this is a really stressful situation. Can we sit down and we can explain things to you?
I'm not one that you need to explain to.
No, but I'd really still like to explain it to you so that you will understand what's going on.
I'm following orders.
No,
You're still here.
I put my hand on Adresai's shoulder and I say, they're elves. We're not going to get anywhere.
Right.
I know.
Just
All
go
right,
to the
fine.
man in charge and talk to them.
All right. Well, I'd like to tell them that there was a dragon underneath that tower.
They don't care. Trust me.
Do they not? Do you care if there was a dragon underneath your city?
Yeah, because he was the one that was doing all the damage there.
Yeah,
Not us. We don't have that kind of...
big white dragon.
I
Very
reiterate,
angry.
you are wasting your time. I have been given orders by my superior.
Wow, you were right. He really
Yes.
doesn't
Take you
care.
back
That's
to
impressive.
where you can explain your situation, however fanciful you might want to make your deception, is entirely up to you.
Deception. Hang on. Wait. Sorry. Number one, how much of Queflin is actually still intact after the dragon did its thing?
You think I'm going to give you the exact data of our city's current status? You are mistaken.
It's
What
still
about-
glowing green.
What about
Captain-
the order? Is the order entirely gone?
I do not know the status of your order at all. You are being arrested
Right.
by the Empire of Athene Vassal for crimes
Yeah,
against...
well, it was the order tower that got destroyed, wasn't it?
Yeah, we didn't do anything to your empire. We just
Once
things
again,
like that.
your attempts to discern the strategic situation of the city will fail. I will not reveal any information to you. Are you
Okay, well,
resisting
Windswift is
arrest?
coming with us, so we'll go with you, and you can tow us behind you on a nice piece of rope. But the Windswift has to come too.
That is not an option. We are
Why
aware
not?
of the destructive nature of your vessels and will not permit that vessel anywhere near our harbours.
Whilst
Be
this is
taken aboard our vessel.
going on, I'm kind of smuttering in the background and looking at the sky as a large storm cloud starts to form over the trimaran. Big, black, angry-looking storm cloud.
If the captain were to see that, he would order it to go away. Unfortunately, he does not see it at all. Several people on the ship do see it, of course. They have lookouts who are doing their duty, but they are not entirely sure what's happening either. It's at that moment that Mios comes rushing up onto deck, and he looks as if he is beyond traumatized. He has tears running down his face. Everything is red, and he runs in between everybody straight up towards Adresai and Saket. There is a moment where, as he's running, the captain stands back with his hand on his blade because there's this charge coming towards him from the steps. And then there are arrows that suddenly get fired.
I was gonna place myself between the captain and Mios so that he doesn't stab him because it's Mios and I don't want him to get stabbed.
So you can give me a dexterity saving throw to interpose yourself between Mios and the incoming barrage of arrows.
Yeah.
All right.
I do not have a minute.
You. That is 22.
22.
I do not have a shield spell. This is very irritating. Why did I not think of that prior to this moment?
Sort of
That's
swoop
not
in and wrap
helpful.
my arms around him.
All right. So Saket's doing that. Con, you're busy casting your Thundercloud. Jorik.
Dumbfounded,
All right.
actually. Doesn't
Well,
know
I'm
what to
wondering
do.
if I have a minute's time to.
Yes, you could ask the archers just to wait for a minute whilst they are resting.
No, I'm just I'm just wondering if I have time to cast Ledman's tiny hut again. But God.
Yeah.
Bad idea, but little time.
Could you wait for a minute?
You could just give me.
No, that's not going to happen. Okay, I'm just going to try and move out of the way of the arrows. We're pulling Mios with me and Adresai because, like, at the end of the day, bodies are not great armor.
No.
No.
God, I just repaired this coat.
Adresai, you take 39 damage.
Ow!
Mother
Holy crap!
8 arrows just embed themselves quite deeply into you as you shield.
That is my 6th life. I am down.
Went from cat to
Baron.
hedgehog in an instant.
Yeah, just like sweep
That's a
around
hedgehog.
and then just
That's it.
stiffens and just
So
like
at this point, would I be done with the?
Well, this is probably about 4 minutes in, so you've now got to the steering mechanisms, and you're like,
Just
there's
cut
not
it.
even a guard here. It's too easy. Probably. You're not much of a structural engineer, to be sure. But yeah, if you pull out these 4 pins, it looks like certain cogs that would normally rotate.
Just insert leverage into the cogs, and
All right. There is
that's faster than deconstructing. I deconstruct the garnish nut with the knife, not with
all right.
the
So
Gordian knot.
yes, you have now ripped asunder their steering mechanism. We're back to the top of the round, and we're now into initiative, please, for everybody.
Ooh, 14.
What?
Okay,
So
really?
hard. I was like expecting
What
like
was yesterday?
Con,
15.
Saket,
5. I'm going
See, there it is. That's what I was expecting.
Adresai. You're muted.
Sorry, cat. 8.
8. Yeah,
Well,
well,
you're
I
down,
suppose,
so-
yeah, you're down. And then Atramen.
Yeah, I'm a cat actually.
Well,
Wow. All right.
cats
Sorry.
down.
I'm a cat.
The elves are
Yum,
going.
yum, 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 yum.
No, the elves are going first. The captain draws out his saber and says, "The next individual to move will die." That's the sound you hear from the ground.
That was
That
Adresai's
was the moment when
response.
she was hit.
That was the last breath of Adresai escaping her lungs, I suppose. The archers, if this was a military tattoo, people would be cheering at this point because the archers that have discharged their arrows now in like a synchronous wave pull another arrow and knock it. So it's like this Mexican wave of elvish arrows being reloaded and the bows being pulled taut as they're ready for a second volley.
Jorik will kneel and just hold his hand up and just stop. We don't want to fight. And I put my other hand on Adresai and try to heal some of her wounds.
Con, what are you doing? Well, what's your healing, Jorik?
Thunderstruck.
Con is like, oh, just
25 points, actually.
blah.
So a lightning stabs
4
down
sixes.
out of the thundercloud and strikes the deck of the ship in and amongst the archers. Every archer within 5 foot of that point must make their saving throw.
Dexterity.
Dexterity. There are 6 of them that will be within that point because they're all
5 feet. Wow.
well, it's a 5-foot radius, right? So it's a 10-foot block.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
no, there's 5 of them. 5 of them. They're standing right next to each other. All right. First one, 14, 15, 16.
So 15 is the DC.
15. All right. So pass, fail, definite fail, fail, 2 more, 1 more, fail. So 4 failures, 1 pass.
So it's 18 is the full damage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you rolled quite low, huh?
Takes half.
Zap.
And everyone else takes half.
Pass takes half, should I say, yeah.
All right, so a 9. Archer 1. Oh, that's interesting.
How close are the ships together? Are they like right
Tied
alongside? Hey, tied together.
Yeah.
But what is the gap between them, if any? Are they pretty much right up
Well,
against?
naturally with water movement, but it's if it's more than a foot, it's a lot of gap.
So basically, just since they're formed like this, you would have them touching each other, but they're a little bit okay.
Correct.
Follow that up by transforming into a bear. I can maintain the spell while in bear form and
It's true.
continue to strike lightning as I go. Transform into a bear and make my movement directly at the captain.
There you go. At Trementum, you've sabotaged. You hear this thunderous strike, and there's bits of sawdust that sort of drifts down on top of you, and then you hear this very high whistle that you spin around because it sounded so close to your ear, but it's just everywhere. This very high-pitched whistle which blasts out a few short notes. That's what you're hearing. What are you doing?
Get out, see what's happening.
All right, so you're running back up onto deck.
Depending on how far it is, yeah.
Sure, that's what you're doing. You're going to have to dash to get up there. There are a couple of sort of sets of stairs. And I'm assuming, are you still moving fairly quietly, or are you just running?
I'm invisible, and it's thunder striking. I don't think there's much.
You need to worry about it? All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if I see somebody, I can slow down. But like, as long as I don't see anybody kind of looking into my direction, I don't need to really be quiet.
Yeah, so you've run out of the control room, if you like, the interconnection room, and you've gone up the first set of stairs. There are probably 12 archers busy rushing past you in a very orderly fashion, moving to the stairs that you know leads up to the top deck. They all have a very serious look on their face, but so serious that they don't notice anything or anyone on either side of them.
Running,
it's easy for you just to follow them up onto deck.
All right, that's fine.
Okay, so that's what you're seeing and doing.
What I will do, before I get out of the over deck,
right?
Yes,
Yeah,
I'll drop my invisibility and cast a spell.
That's what you're gonna do.
Yeah, because I need to drop my invisibility to cast a spell. But, yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. And that you have to do before you cast it, is that right?
No. It just automatically drops when I cast the spell.
Got you. All right. Adrasai, you are now awake. Mios is underneath you. He is just bawling. He is crying and sobbing, and he is a 13-year-old kid who's just been shot at and has just seen the most horrific thing that a 13-year-old can possibly see. There's a bear above you. There's thunder all over the place, and the captain is drawing a sword. What are you doing? Still muted.
Sorry. I'm going to pick Mios up and get him out of there. I'm going to just pick him up and run.
Opportunity from the captain.
Try asking him what happened.
Now?
Not the time. Sorry, what did you say, Guy?
The captain, the elvish captain with his sword, if you run, he will be able to attack you.
That's all right. I'm going to get Mios out of there.
All right, you're just going to get Mios out. All right. As you run, he slices at you with his curved saber. He hits an armor class of 4, so he misses completely, possibly because Con has turned into a bear. It was a bear, wasn't it?
Polar bear. To be
Polar bear. That's right. Oh, yes, your go-to. It's either a tiger or a polar bear. So, yes, possibly he swipes at you absent-mindedly as you drag Mios away. Mios is a bit of a dead weight. Thankfully, he's a skinny 13-year-old, so it's not too heavy, but it's basically dragging yourself away.
I just like picking him up and sort of heading towards the map room, basically. Just the nearest.
So that's
nearest away.
rushing. You can get to the stairs at this point.
Yeah, I just want him out of sight of the archers and stuff.
All right, that will
But
be.
is it the stairs that are like behind the door leading into the? Because I don't have the map up right now.
Right. So you can the deck that you are on. You can go from there. You can either go upstairs, which I don't think makes sense because that puts you into more exposed territory, or you rush for the doorway that leads into the cabin that's on that level.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's where I'm going.
The map room and the armor.
That's where I'm going.
All right. So you will be able to rush. You'll actually be able to get to that door, and you'll be able to open up the door. But because you're holding Mios and everything, you can't get through that door just yet. Saket. Yeah. Lightning has.
I'm still using my action to move as well.
Yeah, because you were prone, so you had to get up and then you.
Yeah, of course. Sorry. Yeah.
Saket.
So, there's more archers coming onto deck.
Yes, you can see their bobbing heads coming up. There are, of course, still the 8 archers who are still standing.
Right. Okay. And it's a wooden ship because, yeah. Damn, this is not how I wanted today to go, but never mind. I will just fire burning hands straight at. I hope they're within 15 feet.
The captain is within 15 feet. The ship itself is, probably at the very extent of 15 feet. You can get to the side of it.
Okay, let's try doing that and shoot out a 15 at cone towards the captain and the ship and hope that at least some of it hits the. Well, actually, they need to make a dexterity saving throw, and as the ship can't make one of those, that hopefully will set it alight.
All right.
And hopefully the captain will also either make a failed save and take half damage. So let's see how we go.
The captain's dexterity saving throw is a grand 9. So how much damage does he take?
He takes 10 damage.
All right. And the side of the ship
also takes 10 damage.
It does take 10 damage, indeed.
Wait, the ship doesn't get to make a dexterity saving throw?
The ship rolls out of the way. That would be shocking. That certainly would be
especially
shocking.
without any this.
It is an Elvish ship. So, I mean, why not?
All right, so I've got that. And that's fine. The side of the ship does not suddenly combust in flames from the spell. It certainly gets a little bit burnt, but blasting fire against the side of a ship that's been sailing in water, no effect. Well, some damage to the hull, but it's 10 points of damage, right? So that's your spell having gone off. Back to top of the round, the archers open fire. Yes.
Wait, did I act this round?
Yes.
Yes.
You
I healed up.
Admiral slide. Okay, so there are 8 archers. I will just work through them. One of them will fire at Jorik, missing completely. Another one will fire at Jorik, missing completely. 2 8s there. All right. 2 will fire at Saket, missing completely unless your armor class is 9, which I doubt.
9.
The second one fires and gets a 19. I think that would be a hit. Yes. Oh, maximum damage. 12 points of damage. 4 will fire at the polar bear because it's a polar bear.
Polar bear.
Hits an armor class of 11. Don't think that hits you.
Shrug it off.
Crikey. 8.
Shrug that off.
11.
And that.
23.
Damn it! That one, not so much.
Yeah, no.
And that is for 12, not 12 damage, my maths today. 10 damage, sorry. As that hits, the captain then starts to attack, and he is going to go for Saket because why? Oh, I
Ignore the polar bear.
bathed him in flame. You resisted arrest. Oh, and you're
No one deserved it.
That's right. So that's why he's going to cut your head off first. The bear is big enough.
Off with the head!
If he's right in front of me and he's attacking her to the side, doesn't that mean I get to just hit him as well?
He's not leaving your area of threat.
You
Yeah.
need specific feats to do like this. In this case, it's Sentinel.
Yeah. Okay, so his first attack against you, Saket hits an armor class of 17.
Frank. Yeah, that's the hit.
His second one is 19, so 2 hits there. Okay. It's a long curved saber that he's using. Oh boy.
Ow.
All right. So that is 14 damage as he slices into you.
Ow. That is not good.
That is a lot of damage. Ow.
That is indeed. And then the 12 archers line up, getting ready to fire next round. That brings us to
Get cover.
Con.
I'm not going to attack the captain. I'm actually just use my move action and my superior size and weight to just go through him. He's a little elf.
You see, it's condescending attitudes like that.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
that's why we're firing
It's
arrows at us, is our attitude.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with species. It's just physics.
All right, so you're going to try and do what?
Rationalize this.
I'm gonna. The idea is to literally barge into him, knock him down, and trample on him, whilst as my move, essentially.
All right, so that's basically a grapple check. So give me a grapple check. So athletics or acrobatics. As you try and slam into him.
10.
Yeah, giant bear tries to charge forward. The captain, who's been a sea captain for probably 100 and something years, watches this giant bear kind of start to lumber forward. He dances delicately to the side and watches as you kind of try and grab at him in your forward motion. Unfortunately, that doesn't work. So,
I didn't really want to grab him. I just wanted to run into him.
yeah.
Body slam. Bear slam.
Bear slam.
Shoulder slam.
Yeah. All right,
So
he
that-
dances out the way.
Now, does that qualify as a movement or a movement and an action or a what?
That was your action.
That was my action. Okay, I
You
guess
have moved.
that's.
Yeah.
Well, I had to get to him presumably to do that.
Well, you have movement left if you want to. I mean, that's entirely up to you.
He already took his attack of opportunity, so.
Yeah, he doesn't have an attack. The captain doesn't have an attack. You going to do anything else, Con?
Yeah, just carry on straight up onto the elven ship.
You're gonna climb up onto the elven ship.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a climb check, or you're going to use the ladder. This bear is just climbing up the side.
Moving up the ladder.
Delicately.
Claws.
Claws.
Maybe there's a board or something there.
All right.
Well, this was a ladder before, so.
And I can stand on my hind legs.
Yeah, and sort of just climb. And bears are actually not bad at climbing. Although I
No,
don't
no,
know-
they're really good.
I don't know about polar bears though. There's not much foliage to go scampering up and down.
But I mean, that's like.
They're especially good because they're climbing icebergs.
Oh,
Wood is easy. Try climbing ice.
yeah. All right. Okay. You climb up the side of the ship. I'll let you climb.
I mean, the climbing ability is more the physiology of the bear, not the.
Yeah.
the
All right.
Probably
color.
not that
Let's
different.
con Yorick. You see this polar bear thunder past the captain. It delicately steps out of the way, and then it starts climbing up the side of the ship as if there was, nothing to do with gravity.
Yeah, before I do this, I need to ask a rules thing. Is there a specific order where you need to take your actions, like bonus actions?
No,
actions
you can
take them Any
But
order?
you can do any direction, and you can even split up your movement. So if you're an archer, you can step out of cover, shoot, and step into cover again.
Okay. So I'm going to take a bonus action to teleport myself out over water. Then I'm going to take my action to use baleful transposition and teleport there, switch places with the captain.
Nice. Our teleportation training is coming in handy.
Yes.
Yeah.
He needs to
That's
do
exactly
a
what we
saving
practiced
throw, though.
doing.
He gets a wisdom saving throw.
Yes.
Okie dokes.
If he succeeds that, I'm going to get wet.
Well, it's a cool idea.
Nice.
He's wearing heavy armor.
For your attacks. I mean, they missed almost everything. 8 archers fired and, All right, here we go. Oh, so it rolls underneath the screen onto the keyboard. 16 in total. Wisdom save.
Splashy.
Actually, what is? Oh, right. That's my casting. Shit. What's that? Oh God, that's 17. I think.
Is it charisma?
No, intelligence.
Okay.
Where's my spell casting sheet?
What's your intelligence modifier? Then do the math on your It's 8 plus.
I'm gonna say it's 17.
It's 8 plus 3.
Proficiency, right?
Yeah, it's 11 plus your intelligence modifier.
11 plus my. Okay, then it's shit. 15.
Ha! Oh, it didn't work.
Yep. So I'm wet.
Good, great try though.
All right,
worth
I
it.
like to get shot at by the archers, if that's any consolation. So you are swimming with the fishes. Atramentum, you're up next.
I'm next.
Yes,
All right. So looking out.
Thundercloud directly above you, scorched.
I'm more archers. So first of all, what are the archers wearing? I mean, they're on boats, so I don't assume they're wearing heavy armor.
No, not at all. These particular archers, they're all wearing leather armor with longbows that they are busy drawing. There are 12 that have formed a line directly behind the 8 that are in front. Yes.
All right. So how far away, with 30 feet of movement, if I run in between them, how much of them can I get within 10 feet around me?
So the whole
10 feet in this direction, 10 feet in this direction.
All right. So I would say you can probably get 8, maybe 9 if you step a little bit, because you're
it's
between
4
the two.
times the radius, and you got like what?
Yeah, well, I'm thinking within your radius, you can get 4 in front, you can get 4 behind, because you're standing in the middle of them, right?
Yeah, and there are two. It's okay.
Yeah.
8's fine. All right. Hope I get more, but okay.
You're visible now.
I'm visible now. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That's the point. I run in between those 8 people, and I transform, which means I jump in the middle of them, and shadowy wings will flare. My eyes will turn red with rage. And everybody please make a saving throw with charisma against fear.
Mios was right.
It is a demon.
I said I am! I said as much!
Damn it.
Yeah.
DC
Okay,
is
saving
16.
throws. Hang on a moment.
DC is 16.
Okay.
I rolled a 17, so...
So the polar
That's
bear.
No. Within 10 feet. That's why I asked.
Yeah.
So we
Oh, wait,
we're
we're not in- I'm
10
not
feet
in-
radiating from me.
Okay.
Right.
So
just
if
the bear,
if
then?
we're over 15 feet away because burning hands didn't work,
Yeah,
then
no,
that doesn't
you're-
affect
You're not a problem. You
me.
guys
I
are
can't
within range.
roll. Never mind.
All right.
Only the archers. So that's 2 fails. 1 gets a 19, which I assume passes.
16.
And that's a failure. So that's 3 failures, 1 pass. 2 more failures. And last.
So mechanically what this will mean is no damage, but they are fearful of me, and as long as they fear
Run
me,
away. Yeah.
as long as they fear me, they don't need to run away. Every attack they do has disadvantage, and they cannot move closer to me.
They can't move closer to you. I thought they had to move as far away from you as they could.
No. That's some things some spells have this specific thing.
Ah, okay.
But like the fear condition just gives you, so you can perpendicular, you can move You can
Yes.
move away, but you can never move closer.
Gotcha.
As long as you see the target of fear.
So is that disadvantage towards you or towards
Everybody. As long as they fear me, they don't want to, like, oh, shit.
They're panicking. And it's not something they often feel because they're elves.
Then I will move closest to one of those who have not probably been shitting their pants yet.
Right.
And, yeah. And I summon my weapon.
That's what you're doing.
So out of shadow, kind of like a big kind of staff with like looks like a head, like more like a skull forming in the end, which I dual wield, like held with two hands. And
All right, calm down there, Captain Edgelord.
This actually was the placeholder name, Edgelord XXX, because
Saket, what are you doing?
Well, thankfully I've still got
Wait,
a healing.
aren't I before Saket?
Yeah, wait, she's before me. I was not expecting to go there. I'm still
Yeah,
stuck in
I've
Sorry,
8.
Adressai, yes, you are next. I thought I was on you. Sorry, Adressai, yes, what are you doing?
How many of the archers got feared?
Sorry?
How many of the archers got the fear effect?
You look back up and there's chaos and pandemonium up there. It's difficult to tell. You think
Oh,
literally, because I'm there.
literally
Yes, that's
chaos and
good.
pandemonium.
I'm just going to drop Mios into the corridor, sort of to
All right.
relative safety for now.
Right.
Then oh god, I'm just going to sort of stand behind the door, sort of in cover, and I'm going to cast Ray of Frost at the captain.
Okie dokes. Make your attack.
That's probably not a hit. That's 13.
13 does not hit the captain. No, it doesn't. The bolt goes off and hits the slightly warm part of the ship and makes it slightly cold again.
Oh no!
Now we go to Saket.
who very rapidly drinks the last healing potion she's got on her.
Right. Those healing potions came in really handy.
They did. Can Con make some more of those, please?
One every day.
Awesome. I'm going to need one every day. That's all right. Okay. Which gives me a total of 9, 10. Pity.
10 hit points. Okie doke. So you drink your healing potion. What are you doing?
I'm going to run towards the map room as well. I've already used up my movement.
Leaves you. It's just you and the captain who's currently on that. So he will get to attack you. Or did he make his attack of opportunity this round? I think he did.
Yes,
Yeah,
he
it was,
did.
but it was his round again, right? So
Yes,
Well, no,
it has.
because he had to dodge out of
No,
the
we haven't
way
circled
of
around
the
yet.
drag.
We haven't circled around yet,
bear.
so he doesn't get an attack of opportunity. No, so you can run towards the map
Okay,
room.
I am running towards that map room as fast as my little elven legs will take me.
All right, you get to the door. Adressai is there already. Yeah, so you're
Laying
both standing
down,
at the door.
covering ice.
Yeah, ice is being slung out from that doorway. That brings us back to the top of the round and to the elves, who are in disarray because there's this winged thing in and amongst them, which is a bit of a problem for some of them. 7 of them actually have disadvantage. Right. So I'm going to go.
and I'm in melee with as many as I can, because bows are usually not the perfect.
Correct. This was a weakness of the Elvish Navy.
What, demons?
Yeah. Invisible teleporting demons.
In
Why?
retrospect, yes, that will be considered the failing of the demons.
If
At
any
the
of them
present
survive.
moment in time, however, that is not something that they have overseen. There was an incident 3 weeks ago which precipitated the Navy to issue swords as well.
That's
because
fine.
merfolk kept landing on their bloody decks, causing all sorts of chaos and pandemonium. So for the sake of that, I'm going to do that. So the 8 are going to fire at you with disadvantage anyway, because they're terrified of you and they want you to go away.
Sure, that's fine.
Nope. What is your armor class, just that I know what I'm aiming for? I mean, that I'm not aiming for?
18 right now.
One set of dice rolled above 12. So they really are terrified of you. I got a 16 and a natural 20. So thankfully the natural 20 doesn't trigger. The 16, however, does still hit you. So you take a grand total of 4 damage. I rolled a 1.
As the arrow comes flying towards me, a shadow will manifest itself in front of me and just deflect it.
Nice. All right, so those are them done. There is still 5 of them that are not sort of worried about the arrows. They're not going to engage you in melee because those archers just fired straight into you, basically. They are going to fire at people on the deck or at a giant polar bear currently climbing up the side of the ship. About to get to the top of the ship, as a matter of fact. So that's what they're going to do. 16, 17 armor class, Con?
Bears have not so thick skin.
So thick. That's one hit.
Big bag of hit points.
Well, I'm glad that they have a big bag of hit points.
Concentration save, by the way, John.
Sorry?
It's okay.
3 hits on you. 2. Wow. Okay. So plus, so it's 9, 10, 11, 12 damage as 3 arrows slam.
So 3 hits?
Yeah, 3 hits.
It's 3 concentration saves then.
Oh, God. Yeah, but the concentration saves are negligible, right? They're 10. So
yeah, but still.
Negligible with the...
It's about the sky, right?
Oh, right.
Storm.
17.
Just above 10. And you roll with your constitution of the bear too, not your own. That's usually better.
18.
Nice. Like I said, negligible.
I'm easy to hit, but I do have thick hide.
Right, absolutely. Okay, so that's what you've done. That's what those archers have done. They fight off. There are still, unfortunately,
Captain.
The other 8. I've just dealt with the 12 archers.
Oh, right.
Now I have the 8 archers who are still in disarray. Well, I dealt with the
yeah. Okay.
There are still 8 more. So, Saket, you're going to get 2 because you were throwing fire at them and they don't like that idea. And you're Sajetti. So that's an armor class of 15 and 20, whatever. Does the 15 hit you? Yep. Okay. All right. So 8, 9, 10, 8 and 4 is 12 damage. So that's 2 of those.
I guess I get knocked out at this stage because I'm like...
Are you on 0?
I am on 0 now.
Ooh.
Perfect 0, or did you go below 0?
No, perfect 0.
All right.
I thought you rested before, but all right.
I did rest. I've had quite a lot of damage thrown at me.
She's had some arrows coming at her.
I went down to 16, then I went down to 2, and then I managed to get it back up to 12, so that would make it...
0.
0.
Yeah.
Well, you're not dying, so...
Yeah.
No, I'm just...
You're in a happy place.
Young.
Happy, right?
I'm in a happy place, bleeding out. Great. Marvellous.
All right.
Well, I'm standing right next to you and I still have a healing potion. So
Awesome.
Come drink this.
just smash it in your face.
2 arrows at you, Edrisai. Both missed
Loading,
completely. And then the last 4 arrows come to you, Bear, because you're a bear climbing up the side of the ship.
The ship listening a little bit.
So that's an 18 and a 15.
Both hit.
And a 15 and a 21. So 4 hits.
Ow.
Okay, now they know where to shoot you, apparently, because they're shooting from below. So you can imagine where they're hitting you.
Below?
Ow.
Well, because he's climbing up, remember? Oh no, sorry. No, what am I saying from below? I'm not even thinking. I thought. Sorry. Yeah, you climbed too high up. You forgot.
It's like on the mast.
Up in the rigging.
If they're shooting bows at me, they're going to have to lean over the railing of their ship to do so.
That's
Very
true.
awkward.
Yeah.
All right, so that's
4 hits.
4 hits. Yes. Sorry. 4. 26 damage.
Hooray.
Porcupine down. The captain is in a blind rage because you insulted him first, then you attempted to try and bamboozle him, then you lied to him, and then you tried to attack his ship. He's not happy. So
I'm not trying.
the bear kind of and all the other bears watching are going, oh, what he just said to the captain. Oh my.
The sea lion.
Yeah, there's a sea lion that's shocked somewhere. All right, so the captain runs over to to Saket and Adresai. Saket is down, so that means he's slicing at Adresai.
He can also attack the person who's prone. Then.
Yeah, but she's down, and Adresai is not. And Adresai was the one who ran in front of the boy and caused this whole catastrophe in the first place.
Hey.
So he hits an armor class of 15 and 15 and 21.
Even if I'm behind the door as a sort of a
He
shield.
rushes
or
over
cover?
to you. It's not
Yeah,
that.
no, that's
Yeah.
Yeah, both hit.
Both hit.
Saber.
That's it. 18 damage.
Oh no.
Oh,
Whoosh,
thank you, Turek.
as he slices into you. Okay, so then that takes us to Con. You climb up onto the deck. There are currently, well, I would say that there are 20 very nervous archers, but that would be a lie. There are 12 very nervous archers and 7 terrified and fearful archers currently in your field of vision. And then this giant demon thing.
I'm not giant. I did grow.
Well, it could be described as, any surviving elves will describe it as, a giant
In their
force
eyes,
of
it's
evil.
giant.
All right. Fine. You assume there will be surviving elves, though.
I say nothing.
Well, I picked the densest clump of elven archers
Bar-
and the lightning.
You hit him with a bolt of lightning. They get a reflex saving throw, is that correct?
Yeah.
All right.
Reflex for half.
Reflex for half. You can prevent the demon from being hit by that, can't you?
Well, it's...
I mean,
You're engaged in melee with them, so...
Yep.
Well, there were 2 groups, were there not?
Yeah, there was a front line and a back line. Atraman ran into the middle of them and just started mauling, so that's the greatest concentration. You can get an outside.
Mauling hasn't commenced yet.
Yeah.
Well, whoever's shooting at deck, actually. Whoever's shooting at the Windswift.
Okay, 4 of them. Yep. They get to make dexterity saving throws. 1 and 5. Natural 20 and an 11. So I think they...
save for half.
Yeah.
And the damage is 22.
1 elf vaporizes, because I'm going to say it was the same one that you hit before. 22 damage.
Yeah.
And they save for half, right?
That's
Yeah.
a decent amount of damage. Ow.
All right, so 1, 2, 3. So 3 elves die with 22 points of damage. That's greater than they were designed to withstand. And the 1 elf is left standing looking shocked.
Shocked.
Yeah, pretty much.
But,
That's what he looks. He looks shocked. Yorick, swimming around.
I won't back up, so I'm going to teleport the captain again. I'll try.
Can
Anyway.
you see him? Do you need to see him?
Do I see
that's
him
a
from
good
there?
point. You can't. You're below.
Okay, I can't. Then I will teleport up to the elf ship.
You're going to teleport onto the Elvish ship? All right.
Yes, just use my bonus action to teleport up, and then I will shoot someone that I see.
Sure.
Do I see the captain from where I am then?
You can. He's quite far away from you at this point, though. given that
Doesn't
he's
matter.
on a lower deck. All right, make your attack. You are firing into melee.
That's a 12. So I'm gonna take my reaction to shoot again.
Sure.
And that's a 17.
17 is a hit. Do your damage.
Yes. Wow. That's a 1. So 6 damage.
6 damage.
Second arrow. I can shoot twice. That's a 18 to hit. So that should be a hit, right?
Yep.
And that is maximum damage. 11.
So even in the end.
No, that wasn't maximum damage. Damn it. What? 11 damage.
11 damage. That's right. All right, your 2 arrows bite into his arm and his leg. He does not seem to notice them too much. As you get off your shots, there are several people who do notice you arriving suddenly and mysteriously. That takes us to Atramentum.
Yeah, murder, death, kill.
Yes.
So I will try to hit him.
Okay.
So how many people are next to me right now?
Right now, there are 7 people around you.
All right, as a bonus action, I curse him and say, "Loch Slakar," and then I hit him.
All right. Are you hitting one of the feared ones, I'm assuming?
No, I expressively didn't want to go next to the ones that are feared.
Okay, sure.
So, no. Attack is a 24.
Yeah, that's a hit.
It is 5 points of damage.
All right. And then?
And then he takes an extra d6, which is quicker when I roll. It's another 3 points of damage.
Okay.
And that's it.
All right.
However, he has a spell on him, and if he moves, he explodes. Well, he
You
takes
put a
damage.
spell on him, and now he's yours?
No. If he moves, he takes damage.
All right.
But that's not something he will know necessarily.
He won't know. Okay. All right. That's not a problem. He's panicking. Not because of a magical effect, because you're there. Adressai. There's a captain standing in front of you. He looks perturbed.
Looks a little upset, huh? Well, I'm not going to have any chance dealing with this person, so I'm going to spend my turn giving my healing potion to Sket.
Here we go. Have some.
I just sort of stare at him because we go boop.
All right.
Sorry, guy. Sorry, he should have taken another 5 points of damage. The macro is set up wrong for some reason.
Wait.
Sure.
Okay, and does Adressai roll my healing, or do I roll my healing?
Doesn't matter.
Do you want to? You can roll it. It's my turn. What is? He's in melee with me.
Yes.
So I can't move anywhere without an attack of opportunity.
Well, you can disengage and then move if you want to.
But she already
Disengagement is
healed
an
him.
action.
You already fed Saket a potion, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm done. I think I'm basically just for flavor going to pull out my dagger and just sort of stand defensively over Meos.
Over Meos. Meos is still bawling. All right, Saket, you're alive, you're awake, and because of the way the rules work, you can do stuff.
Awesome, and that was the best roll I've ever had out of my D4s because they were all 4. That's never going to happen again.
No, enjoy it while it lasts.
So I see the
Last this bastard.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's time we bring out the big guns because we need to. Okay. So lightning bolt right at the freaking captain. So
There's people outside just see a lightning bolt coming out from the door.
He gets a saving throw.
Oh, and I also cast Careful Spell on Adressai and Meos.
Just in case.
Just in case. Okay.
His saving throw for dexterity, is it?
Yeah.
His saving throw for dexterity is a grand total of 9.
Oh, it sucks for him. Right, let's have a look. So 15, 16,
That's shockingly bad.
No, wait.
You're shockingly bad.
I thought he was lightning fast.
Guys, you're screwing up my maths here. Right.
Sorry.
I think you can multitask as a woman. What's going on?
I'm trying to listen and do maths, so Anyway, pregnancy brain. I'm blaming that. Right. Hang on. Wait. So that was 18. 5 is 23. Yep, and then I need to roll one more dice because I've only got 7 of the fuckers. Oh, so that's 25 in total.
25 damage in total.
Nice.
Ow.
To the face.
All right. You deal 25 damage to him. He staggers back. You can see where your blast shot him in his chest. There's this rent in his scale mail and burnt flesh underneath it.
Oh, and anything that can set alight will now set alight.
So the Windswift?
Just I aimed at him, so his clothing, if he has
No, anything held close, anything
Hair.
worn and whatever doesn't get set on fire. I had a whole video about it where I was complaining about it, so don't worry, you're not alone. Yes, that's what happens. He staggers back, his hand clenches around his sword. He looks at you and he says, because you're still lying down, I will take great pleasure in dispatching you, elf. And we'll be back next week when the Adventures of the Windswift continues. If you stay with us for the review, we welcome you. If you don't, we'll see you next week. Okay, well, review time. We flew through that one, I think. Number 5 is up first. 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's you, Saket.
Well, that was lots of fun. I think I've been attacked way too much at the moment. What the hell? I know the Sagetti don't get on with many people, but that's not my fault, right?
Ever heard about racism?
Yeah, ever heard about resisting arrest? Thing.
Not start that. Okay, maybe I did.
I'd say it was them being trigger happy that started that, honestly.
Yeah, they weren't ready to listen about dragons. They didn't want to listen at all. Okay, maybe we should have just gone to see the head of the city. I don't know.
They tried to murder me, us. Shit's going down.
Yeah, but come on.
They murder
I'm
you.
like a 12-year-old boy. What the frick is wrong with them?
He's 14.
14.
And he's a human.
Still, he's
That
a
means
child.
Baby.
He's
Yeah.
a human. Doesn't matter.
He's only just worked out what the wet dreams are all about in the first place. Come on, give the
That
kid
is
a
not
break.
what he saw below deck.
Well, yeah, and I kind of want to know what happened there. I mean, has Lieutenant Ty done something crazy like committed suicide over Blackstone? I just don't want to know right now. So, yeah, it's all a bit crazy. And that all got a bit crazy. And I really probably should have just cast whatever.
It's 1 minute, 10 rounds.
Yeah, that's going to take too long, isn't it? Well, okay, at least I got to fire a lightning bolt at the the guy that keeps attacking me. I'm kind of hoping Androsai is going to make a great meat wall right now. Sorry.
Yeah, because that's
No,
Androsai.
she wasn't dead a second ago.
She's got a dagger in her hand. She should just use it. Anyway, well, I guess we'll see what happens next episode. It's also nice to meet Simon's new character, so that's interesting.
Oh, you haven't met him yet.
Yeah. Well, not in the biblical sense. All right, so Androsai, you're up next.
Yeah, that was interesting and quite fun. I think it was one of those moments that, like, I tried to diffuse it a little bit by having everybody sort of just sit down and talk things out. But I think things were so tense that it was kind of something was gonna happen either way there. Well, but yeah, it was good. I mean, if nothing else, then after they found out that Blaster's character had sabotaged their ship, so or the lightning storm, or a lot of stuff. But no, that was fun. Good to see Simon back in play. Probably very useful right now.
Let's hope the merfolk come to our rescue, really. That's
that would be
I'm
good.
set up now.
Cabal, you want to make a deal with the Cabals? I don't know. Polar bear of might and power climbing up the ship's tower, or at least the ship anyway. I couldn't think of anything else to rhyme with power. Your perspective?
Con is angry.
No.
And in the moment he felt that this was a complete waste of his time, our time. Not only that, but had this kind of feeling that this attitude coming from the military man was going to be the same one met with by the elven leadership in general, a dismissive lack of interest.
You're done with elves, either light-skinned or dark-skinned, to be this way?
And that going back with them would just end up having to fight our way out of there rather than here. Is where Con's mind is at, and this captain just really was getting on his nerves. He's not in a good place right now, and then arrows started flying, and that was that. Nicely timed little break there. Once Con's now standing on deck, phase 2 of the one-man ship invasion is underway. So I look forward to hopefully getting that under.
Yeah, I'm set up now. Now is the fun part for me.
Yeah, and I'm up from the waters.
Right. Well, yeah. So poor old Jorik tried to switch places. It was a good idea, absolutely, and certainly would have derailed.
I mean, sometimes you just have to go for the rule of cool and try something new, right?
Absolutely.
The dice today, there's no doubt about it, the dice were actually in your favor. I know it might not feel like that, but the amount of rolls...
They're 22.
They should have peppered you a lot more. So anyway, Jorik, yes, Tobias.
Well, I tried to, as Jorik, diffuse the situation as much as I could, really. Just telling people to shut up, let's go with them, let's just solve this. He's an elf, he won't listen, la la la. Then arrows started flying and everything went to hell. And after that, I basically just tried to, try something new and failed. So I spent most of this battle in the water, which is fine, really. It was just a bit anticlimactic, I guess.
Did you
but now I'm back on deck, so now I can actually do something. So It was decent.
Yeah. Well, yeah, as you say, you're back up onto deck, and so now it's 1 archer versus 12. Well, we'll see. It's not.
I can do this.
All right, and then
don't worry, I have a plan.
Oh, those words, I love those words.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Well, I have a plan to order pizza. But as far as the battle's concerned, I don't know. No, we'll certainly see the outcome of that. Simon, of course, you're introducing your new character to...
Right, so having new characters always sucks. The introduction is always weird and janky.
Right.
It's just the thing that happens.
Correct.
Yeah, now I'm set up. Now I can do the deeps from hell, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, looking forward to the next session because now I can unload. It takes a little bit of time to get going with this one. But also, when you need to you do a little bit of crowd control in the beginning, it's kind of obviously takes some time off.
Right. Well, let's see. Let's see.
Because that would be fun.
Right. And of course, as you say, the introduction of the new character is tricky because there is always that metagame component that everybody wants to...
I mean, there was obviously metagaming from John and Tobias to say, like, oh yeah, we totally need to go there because...
Right.
Right, but I mean, that's just how it goes. And it makes it so much easier. Like, that's also the reason why I usually wouldn't have been visible there. Just like, this was me metagaming to, I want totally their attention right now. Absolutely, yay. And that sounds great, right? Like, but I mean, just get it over with so you can start playing as a group. And actually, I think fighting is very good in the beginning when you introduce new characters because that will just show their match a little bit. So you don't need to awkwardly talk about, so what do you do in your free spare time? Right? So you just do it and everybody sees what you're doing. And it kind of gives everybody a leg up. And also, it's fighting together is always role-playing wise is a great forming of bonds, like actually being part of a troop, if it's police, army, or whatever. If you're doing stuff together and you're actually in danger, you kind of need to and then do trust each other. And I think that's extremely beneficial because I did not want to play Blacks in 2.0. I went actually extremely in the other direction with him, like on purpose, just so there's an extreme distinction and it's easy to kind of see, oh wait, there's something happened here. But on the other hand, that makes it a little bit awkward to kind of go with the group. Daxton would have been a little bit easier as being a captain, so that's so there were some problems with this, but I just think it's it's necessary to do a cut then and also
Correct. Well, there you go. That's the episode. Thank you for staying with us for this review. Hopefully it was a little bit insightful as we got to meet Simon's character. There will be a video of that coming out as soon as we can get around to recording it, so you can learn the ins and outs of this weird tiefling who skulks about in the shadows and was interested in certain things. Nonetheless, thank you for watching, and until next time, goodbye.